590 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, zero carbon dioxide emissions, 1.9 million cars a year, a presence in 100 countries, and 63 billion euros in revenue. But imagine, 1943, the same factory floors, the same German engineers, but instead of revolutionary electric cars, they're building tanks for the Wehrmacht. Instead of satisfied customers, there are 20,000 concentration camp prisoners working at the machines. And do you know how it all began? With one man getting fired. In 1909. How did a company built on the bones of war crimes become a symbol of technological progress? And what was the price of redemption? 1909. Zwickau. August Horch, the founder of the company Horch, is given an ultimatum by his own partners. Either you submit to our decisions, or you leave. What do you think a man who spent his entire life going against the grain chose to do? Imagine a composer being kicked out of his own orchestra for refusing to play someone else's music. On July 25, 1910, Horch registers a new company. But there's a problem: he can't use his own last name. The rights to the Horch brand belong to his former partners. And so, Audi was born, out of stubbornness, out of the desire to prove he could do better. From 1910 to the 1920s, Horch didn't just create cars, he rewrote the rules for creating them. Technical revolution number 1, left-hand drive, at a time when all German cars had the steering wheel on the right. It was like reteaching an entire nation to write with their left hand. But Horch understood the future was left-hand drive. In 1921, the Audi Type K became the first German car with standard left-hand drive. Technical revolution number 2, four-wheel brakes. Competitors were still braking with only the rear wheels, like horse-drawn carts. Audi was already braking with all four, like a modern car. Every innovation is a risk. Every risk is a chance to get ahead of your time. 1932. The Great Depression is strangling the world economy. 4 German car companies are on the brink of collapse. Audi, with its technical innovations but no mass market. Horch, with a luxury no one can afford. DKW, making motorcycles in the age of the automobile. And Wanderer, a middle-of-the-road brand with nothing unique. They were like 4 streams that dry up in a drought, but form a mighty river when they merge. On June 29, 1932, Auto Union AG was born, but no one knew that this goal would lead them into the darkest place of the 20th century. 1934 to 1939, the golden era of Auto Union. Technical revolution number 3, rear-wheel drive, boring. Front-wheel drive, basic. Auto Union placed a 16-cylinder engine in the rear, 520 horsepower in 1937 that was like a modern supercar in the age of horse-drawn carriages. If Ferrari created cars like Stradivarius violins, beautiful and melodic, Auto Union built them like spaceships. Impossible, but real. Behind the wheel of a Type C, Bernd Rosemeyer set a world speed record, 406.32 kilometers per hour on a public road. But at that very same time, in the basements of the Reich Chancellery, plans were being made that would turn triumph into tragedy. September 1st, 1939. Germany invades Poland. The car factories are transformed into forges of war. The hammers that once forged beauty now forged death. Auto Union receives military orders. Armored personnel carriers, repairs for panzer tanks, parts for V-2 rockets. But the most horrific chapter began in 1943. The first trainloads of labor arrive at the Auto Union factories. French, Poles, Russians, Czechs, Jews from the ghettos. By various estimates, up to 20,000 people were used as forced labor, a 12 to 14-hour workday, according to factory documents. Critically, low food rations. Archival documents bear witness to their tragic fates. Among the victims were young people from occupied countries, students from France, teachers from Poland, workers from the USSR. Many died from exhaustion, accidents, or were shot trying to escape. Imagine a jeweler creating wedding rings from gold stolen from the dead. Every Auto Union car gleamed, but it was stained with blood. And the most cynical part? The company kept precise records on the efficiency of its forced labor documents that have survived in the archives. May 8, 1945. Germany surrenders. But the story of auto union didn't end. It was interrupted. 1945 to 1948. Justice arrives in freight cars. The auto union factories in the Soviet zone are dismantled down to the last screw. Machines, presses, blueprints, everything is shipped to the USSR as war reparations, like a surgeon removing a cancerous tumor, leaving not a single cell behind. The Allies excised auto union from German industry. In 1948, Auto Union AG was officially liquidated. It seemed the four rings were buried forever. 1949. Düsseldorf, West Germany. A group of former auto union engineers forms a new company, DKW, not Auto Union, not Audi, just DKW, one of the four ghost brands. Like an actor from a grand theater who, after it burns down, performs on the street for pennies, hoping to one day return to the main stage. The DKW F89 was their first post-war car. Technical specs: a two-stroke engine, 684 cubic centimeters, 23 horsepower, a top speed of 95 kilometers per hour, and front-wheel drive revolutionary for the 1950s. But this was survival, not revival. The real Audi was still sleeping, and its awakening began with a single purchase. September 22, 1964. The deal of the century in the auto industry. Volkswagen buys the rights to Auto Union from Daimler-Benz for 3 million Deutsche Marks. What few people knew was the deal included a clause to revive the Audi brand. Not immediately, but when a worthy car was ready. September 3, 1965, the Frankfurt Motor Show. A white sedan drives onto the stage under the spotlights. The Audi F103. Technical specs: a four-cylinder, 1.7-liter engine, 72 horsepower, front-wheel drive, and front disc brakes. Like a phoenix not just rising from the ashes, but spreading its wings even wider than before. But the real miracle began when one man joined the company, April 1st, 1972. A 35-year-old engineer named Ferdinand Piëch joins Audi, the grandson of Ferdinand Porsche, a legend, an obsession. Piëch was known for his perfectionism since childhood. Relatives said he would study mechanisms for hours, striving to understand the principles of precision. If most engineers build cars like houses strong and functional, Piëch built them like Swiss watches. Every part in its place, every screw tightened with the exact right amount of force. At his first meeting, colleagues remember Piëch announcing ambitious plans to surpass Mercedes-Benz. His colleagues thought he was insane. They were wrong. 1976. An impossible task. Create an engine more powerful than a four-cylinder, but more compact than a V6. Piëch's solution was unconventional. 5 cylinders, a compromise between the power of a 6-cylinder and the compactness of a 4. Technical revolution number 4, the inline 5-cylinder, 2.1-liter engine. Its specs: 136 horsepower, a unique sound due to the odd number of cylinders, and a perfect balance of power and size. It was like a composer creating a symphony not in the traditional 4 movements, but in 5, and producing a masterpiece you can never forget. The Audi 100 with the 5-cylinder engine debuted in 1977, and 3 years later, Piëch would perform a miracle that would change the entire automotive industry. Winter, 1976, the Austrian Alps. An engineer named Jörg Benzinger is testing the Volkswagen Iltis, a military all-wheel drive vehicle. The car climbs snowy slopes with ease. The moment of inspiration, as the engineer tells it, came while watching how effortlessly the Iltis climbed the snowy slopes. He began to wonder about applying all-wheel drive to civilian cars. 1977 to 1980. 3 years of secret development. Technical revolution. Number 5. Quattro. The principle: a center differential distributes power 50-50 between the axles. If one wheel starts to slip, torque is automatically redistributed. Permanent, full-time all-wheel drive. March 10, 1980. The Geneva Motor Show. The Audi Quattro drives onto the stage. A 5-cylinder turbo engine, 200 horsepower, Quattro all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. If a regular car is a person on 2 legs, the Quattro is a person on 4. Every step is more confident, every move more precise. The Audi Quattro won the World Rally Championship 5 times in a row. The revolution had begun, and there was no stopping it. In the 1980s, Audi declared war on the German automotive establishment. PX strategy: we will not copy our competitors, we will be better. Battle number 1, design. Technical revolution. Number 6, a drag coefficient of 0.30, the best in the world for a production car. For comparison, the Audi 100 was 0.30, the BMW 5 Series 0.36, the Mercedes E-Class 0.34. If Mercedes created cars like expensive suit status symbols, but conservative, and BMW made them like sportswear functional, but aggressive, then Audi made them like works of modern art, beautiful and technological. Battle number 2, safety. 1994, the Audi A8, the first production car with an all-aluminum frame. Technical advantages: 40% lighter than a steel frame, 60% more rigid, and better corrosion resistance. But the biggest battle was yet to come. 2000s to 2010s, Audi becomes an equal to BMW and Mercedes. Sales stats. In 1990, Audi sold 580,000 cars, BMW 650,000, Mercedes 720,000. By 2010, Audi was selling 1.1 million cars, BMW 1.3 million, and Mercedes 1.2 million. Like a third tennis player breaking into the Big Two and turning it into the Big Three. Key hit models. The 1994 Audi A4, a competitor to the BMW 3 Series with Quattro as standard. The 1998 Audi TT, a revolutionary design that turned Audi into a fashion brand. And the 2006 Audi R8, a supercar with a Lamborghini engine that proved Audi could play in the top league. Vorsprung durch Technik became not just a slogan, but a philosophy. But at the moment of triumph, the company faced its most painful trial. 1998. A class action lawsuit from the surviving forced laborers. The past is a boomerang. The harder you throw it, the harder it hits you on its return. 50 years of silence were over. In the year 2000, the Remembrance, Responsibility and Future Foundation was created. The financial commitment: a total fund of 10 billion Deutsche Marks, with the auto companies contributing 2.56 billion. Payments to each survivor ranged from 2,500 to 7,500 euros. Audi's official statement: we acknowledge our historical guilt and apologize to all who suffered from the use of forced labor. The price of silence turned out to be higher than the price of truth. September 18, 2015. A Black Friday for the German auto industry. The EPA, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, publishes a devastating report. The essence of the scandal: a defeat device software that recognized when a car was being tested and artificially lowered its emissions. How it worked: in the lab, the car would understand it was being tested and switch to a clean mode. On the road, the software would switch off and emissions would exceed the legal limit by 10 to 40 times. The statistics of the deception: 11 million cars worldwide, 2.1 million of them Audis. The deception lasted from 2008 to 2015. The consequences were worse than the darkest predictions. Financial losses: $15 billion in fines in the US alone, with total losses for the Volkswagen Group exceeding 30 billion euros, a 40% drop in stock value in 1 month. 11 million cars recalled. The human cost: on June 18, 2018, Rupert Stadler, the chairman of Audi, was arrested, like a ship's captain who assures passengers of their safety, all while knowing there's a hole in the hull. Wolfgang Hatz, the head of engine development, was sentenced to prison. A reputation built over 40 years crumbled in 40 days. Out of the deepest crisis come the boldest decisions. 2017, Audi's new strategy: full electrification, an investment in the future, €40 billion in electric vehicles by 2025. 20 new electric models by 2025. The closure of all internal combustion engine plants by 2033. Technical revolution number 7, electrification. The 2018 Audi e-tron, the first all-electric Audi, a range of 436 kilometers, 408 horsepower, and a 30-minute charge time to 80%. Like an alcoholic who not only quits drinking but becomes a healthy lifestyle consultant. But most importantly, the philosophy changed forever. 2024. Audi is no longer just a car company. It's a laboratory for the future of mobility. The modern electric lineup. The 2021 e-tron GT with a 0 to 60 time of 3.3 seconds. The 2021 Q4 e-tron, a compact electric SUV with an augmented reality heads-up display. If Tesla created electric cars like iPhones, revolutionarily simple Audi makes them like Swiss watches. Complex on the inside, elegant on the outside. Technical revolution number 8, the sphere concepts. Concept cars of the future, the Grand Sphere, an autonomous limousine with no steering wheel, the Urban Sphere, an urban office capsule, and the Sky Sphere, a transforming roadster. From a car manufacturer, Audi is becoming an architect of mobile experiences. Vorsprung durch Verantwortung. Progress through responsibility is Audi's new motto. Principles of sustainability. Carbon-neutral factories by 2025, 100% renewable energy in production, full recycling of EV batteries. Just as a former smoker becomes the most fervent anti-smoking advocate, Audi has transformed from a polluter into a protector of the environment. But the biggest change is in people's minds. 92 years of history, from triumph to fall, from war to peace, from deceit to honesty. Lesson number 1. Technology without ethics is a weapon of destruction. Lesson number 2. Silence about the past is more expensive than admitting guilt. Lesson number 3. True innovation is born from crisis. The history of Audi is a river that changes its course after every flood, but it always flows towards the sea of progress. From using slave labor to ensuring fair working conditions. From war production to technologies for peace. From deceiving customers to transparency in everything. The 4 rings have learned to turn scars into strength. We started with a contrast modern Audi and its dark past. Now, we see the full picture. In 27 minutes, we've traveled a century-long road. From an engineer's firing to an electric revolution. From 4 bankrupt companies to a global empire. The main lesson is this: greatness is not in never falling. Greatness is in rising stronger after every fall. Just as metal gets stronger every time it's tempered in fire, Audi has grown stronger after every crisis. The 4 rings are not just a logo. They are a symbol that what was divided can be united. What has fallen can rise again, and what has sinned can find redemption. The final stats: 1.9 million cars a year, a presence in 100 countries, 90,000 employees worldwide, and a leader in the premium electric segment. 4 rings, 1 story, endless wisdom.